Hello everyone, it's Jack Hadley with My Social Practice, and welcome to our webinar tonight. It is, Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday, December 20th, 2017, and we're glad to have you here. The title of our webinar tonight is Keeping Social Media Marketing Fun and Consistent. And we appreciate all of you who have signed up, whether you're our clients or just some of our fans and followers. We're glad to have you here. And as you know, we do one of these each month. And tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about trying to be more consistent. I encourage you to, if you have questions or whatever, and like to put them into the chat box. I have some help here tonight, and if it's something that they can answer, they'll answer you, and if it's not, they'll pass it along to me for later, or you can just always email me, just jack@mysocialpractice.com. So let's dive right in. One of the main reasons for our seminar tonight, for our webinar, is that we're releasing another new ebook today. It's entitled Keeping Social Media Fun and Consistent. So the link to this ebook will be down below, and you can download that anytime after our visit tonight. Before we get started, though, I want to talk to you about something we just released that's really fun. Just released this a couple of days ago. And I want to ask you, are you the most interesting dentist in the world? Or do you work with the most interesting dentist in the world? We just launched a little contest in connection with our Dental Digital Marketing Conference. As many of you know, I've talked about it a little bit before. In April, we'll have the 4th Annual Dental Digital Marketing Conference. And so in connection with that, we launched this contest that will have some great prizes where the grand prize is to win an all-expense-paid trip to Las Vegas and tickets to the conference. It includes airfare, hotel, the whole thing. So I think we'll just play the video, and it kind of explains what this contest is. So John, could you go ahead and run the video, please?
A lot of people think we dentists are boring.
Yeah, right. It's like they think all we do is fix teeth.
The truth is, dentists are some of the most interesting people in the world. This is going to be so sick. Yeah!
And we want you to help prove it.
Yes, no, yes. Are you a dentist with an interesting hobby, skill, or hidden talent?
Share a video of it on your practice's Facebook page,
and you'll be entered to win some incredible prizes from My Social Practice. Magnifique.
Or if you work with an awesome dentist, tell them to enter.
Besides wowing patients and fans, participants will have the chance to win a VIP trip to Las Vegas
to attend the Dental Digital Marketing Conference this April.
What is the Dental Digital Marketing Conference, you ask?
The most valuable 2 days you will ever spend learning how to grow your practice using the latest digital marketing strategies, tools, and trends.
My Social Practice will select one of the funniest, most unique, or most remarkable entries as the grand prize winner of the all-expenses-paid getaway. Also, 10 runners-up will win a prize pack and half-off admission to the conference.
Entering is easy. Just make a short video showing your interesting hobby, skill, or talent. Post it to your practice's Facebook page using the hashtag #MostInterestingDentist and tag My Social Practice. Then, fill out the official entry form at mostinterestingdentist.com.
It's that simple. Yeah. The most interesting dentist in the world will be in Vegas this April for the Dental Digital Marketing Conference.
So, submit your video and we might just see you there too.
All right, so submit your entry, and whether or not you want to compete to be named the most interesting dentist in the world, or if you just want to know more about the Dental Digital Marketing Conference, you can go to dentalmarketingconference.com. All right, enough of that. Let's dive into what we were here to talk about. Again, the link to this ebook will be below. If you do have questions, use the chat function. And I'll also be referencing some other things tonight, some other resources, and there will be additional links below to those resources. First of all, before we get started, I want to compliment and give a great big shout out to our marketing team. We have been producing some really amazingly great ebooks lately, And often when I travel and speak, I'll have people come up to me afterwards and thank me for these ebooks that we've been developing, because they're very thorough, they're very thoughtful, they're easy to use, they're very actionable. And so I meet with our marketing team and we brainstorm these ideas together, and then they just take off and run and make it happen. So many thanks to our writers and our designers for their work on these ebooks. I'm very proud of them. So in this case, our new ebook, this particular book deals with three things. Number one, it's showing why it's important to stay consistent with your social media marketing. Number two, it names and details 4 essential keys to help keep your social media marketing plan on schedule. And the third thing, it talks about some ideas that help you get unstuck if you run into a wall and become less consistent. I do not want to go through all the detail of the ebook. I just want to do a really high-level overview, and then I've got a few related things that I want to talk to you about. I don't think it's a useful of our time together, because we have such a short time together. It's not useful for me to simply go through the ebook. You can go through the ebook, and our writing team has done a great job of making it, again, actionable and helpful for you. So we don't need to do that. So I do want to talk about some specific things, though, related to these 3 sections. I mentioned the first one is about consistency. It's important to understand the why. Always start with the why. Why do we do these things? Why is it important to stay consistent? And the ebook will go over that. The second part, the 4 keys to social media marketing consistency, will be very helpful for you as well. Those 4 components include prioritizing your tasks, delegating responsibilities, celebrating the smallest of victories, and finally, developing more patience. And so those are the 4 topics in the ebook. I only want to touch on one of them right now, and just one part, just some thoughts that I've had about this section number 3, celebrating small victories. Social media is so unlike traditional advertising and marketing. Your success is typically not determined by appealing to and targeting anonymous masses. That's the way we used to do marketing. We used to try to push advertising and marketing out to the anonymous masses. Don't make yourself crazy by comparing your early results to somebody else's. Just keep an eye on what's working, celebrate every tiny like, comment, or share, and think in baby steps. Really, the way social media marketing works effectively is it's one-to-one marketing. And when you start thinking that way and stop thinking that you have to have millions of likes and millions of shares and millions of comments for it to be effective, like, don't compare yourself to large brands that do that. It's not important. What's more important is that you celebrate every small victory. About 4 years ago, I guess, it was around March of 2013, I wrote a series of articles, 26 articles actually, about dental social media marketing truths. And one of those articles that I wrote is applicable to this idea of celebrating small victories. And by the way, I'm going to put the link down below the video to that post where it has all of the 26 articles. I wrote them not specific to any platforms, so the material is just as applicable today as it was 4 years ago. It's about the way you think about social media marketing or about new marketing. So I'll have John put the link down below so you can click through to that in case you want to read it. But one of those 26 articles was about this idea of small victories and small victories leading to bigger victories. And it's entitled Celebrate Every Dental Social Media Marketing Victory. When you read through that, and when you read through section 3 of this ebook, the important thing to remember is dental social media marketing success builds through each one-to-one conversation. And when you learn to celebrate each one-to-one conversation, you're on your way to being more consistent and to being less discouraged about your efforts. You not only have connected, every time you connect with one person, even if it's just one like on a Facebook post, you've not only connected with that one valued patient or prospective new patient, but you've also started earning permission to connect with his or her trusted, highly scalable network. That's what effective social media marketing is. It isn't you connecting with thousands of people. It's you becoming a trusted resource to just a few people who will then spread the word about the practice. That's really a foundational truth about effective social media marketing. So learn how to celebrate those victories. You get one like, that's amazing. That's 100% more likes than no likes. So before you were doing social media, you weren't getting anything. And now you have one, and that's 100% improvement. So start thinking that way. It's really important. Let me show you an example, and then I want to go into a couple other little tiny things on this section of celebrating small victories. Our good friends at Gutierrez Dentistry down in Florida, they are an amazing practice, and a big shout out to you. I hope you're watching. Well, anyway, I hope you're watching, because we really enjoy watching the things that you've been doing as one of our valued clients. So they did a food drive recently. And it wasn't so much about how many people that they could get, because this was done for many more reasons than to market the practice. It was done because it was a good thing to do. It was a charitable thing to do. And when you do good in the world, good comes back to you. What's neat about this, though, is they did have 16 people or at least 16 likes. Looks like 15 people, and maybe they clicked the like button themselves. So think about that. There's 15 people that connected with them on this one post and spread the good word. Even if it was just to themselves, they spread the word to themselves, and maybe they also posted it somewhere else or shared it somewhere else. So looking at these victories as tiny little successes is really, really important. So look through those 26 articles if you want. The one about celebrating small victories, it will be in that link as well. All right, so back to the 4 keys that you're going to look through on this ebook. Let's go to the third part. So I talked about consistency as the first part of the ebook. The second part is about the 4 keys, of which I just talked about one of them. And the third part of the ebook has to do with ideas that will help you when you feel like you're hitting the wall and you're becoming less consistent. So let me focus on one idea that I've had related. It's not an idea in the ebook, but it's something that I've been thinking a lot about that I'd like to share with you today. When you feel like you've hit the wall and you run out of ideas, you run out of energy, and things start to kind of peter out, one thing to do is refocus on the human side of your practice. This is one of the things that's mentioned in the ebook. They mention many other tactics, but this is the one I want to talk about for just a minute. When you refocus on the human side of the practice, it brings renewed vigor and renewed life and renewed optimism and enthusiasm into your social media efforts. So the webinar tonight is entitled Keeping Social Media Marketing Fun and Consistent. I want to talk about this word fun a little bit, because it's what's fun to one practice may not be fun to another practice. And I have been guilty of something, and I publicly apologize. Sometimes when I go speak and I'll show some examples of a practice that's doing something what most people might call really fun, like really kind of off the wall, like really out there. And once in a while I'll have a doctor come up to me after my lecture and say, you know what, that's just not us. That's just not our personality. Like, we would never do that. For example, a Dubsmash video. They might say, you know what, that's great for that practice, but it just doesn't feel like something that we would do. And sometimes I've maybe been, I don't know, a little bit harsh with practices like that, and I'll say, hey, come on, loosen up a little bit or whatever. I want to apologize for doing that, because what I really feel is that you ought to do what feels good for you. And I want to challenge you to go beyond maybe some of the things that you thought you would never do, but I don't want you to cross the line into doing things that aren't comfortable for you. So let's talk about this idea of fun. Is it the fact that you're keeping it fun that keeps you consistent? Well, not necessarily. It's keeping the passion in what you're doing that keeps you consistent. If you're not passionate about your marketing and telling the story of your practice and social media, using social media to do that, then it's much more difficult to remain consistent. So I think this webinar shouldn't be about making your social media marketing fun and consistent. It's about making it fun so that it stays consistent. But I want to talk about the word fun here for a minute, because I mentioned what's fun for some practices is not fun for other practices. And I'm really starting to get a better sense of that. So in the case of Gutierrez Dentistry, they did the food drive, but they also recently did some Dubsmash videos. So let me show you a little bit. Let me show you this Dubsmash, this little series. They put a few of them together and posted them on their Facebook page. So let me have John run that video for you.
Don't be scared. I've done this before. Show me your teeth.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
This is how we roll. We rolling into town. With nothing else to do, we take another lap around.
So that's cute. I'll always love you, Chocolate. So very nicely done. I mean, they look like they're having fun making these Dubsmash videos. Now, let me reiterate. I know that there are a lot of practices that this is not their idea of fun. This would be torture for them to do this. And so I don't want you to do that. In the webinar that we did last month, in November, I talked a lot about what are commonly thought of as business intangibles. So let me talk about those in just a second. So in this case, Gutierrez Dentistry did two different things. They did a food drive, which is a little maybe more serious, but also fun. They looked like they were having fun doing good in the world. But then they did these kind of a little more, Dubsmash stuff is a little more out there, right? It's a little more off the wall. They did both of these things. Now, if we were to graph those two things, I think you might agree with me that one of them appears to be more, quote, fun than the other one. So a food drive, I guess, is less fun than doing Dubsmash videos. What's important for every practice, and the point that I want to make sure comes through on this idea, is that you have to map the fun component against your comfort level and your comfort component. So along this little line, this dotted line, there are lots of things that you can do in your practice, some of which are more conservative, so we might say they're less, quote, fun, and maybe you're more comfortable doing them. And then as you go up the dotted line, there are lots of things that are more, quote, fun, but maybe you'd be less comfortable doing. There is no one-size-fits-all in social media marketing. There is no perfect spot for every practice along this line. So the important thing is that you determine where your comfort level is, and then push yourself a little bit. I mean, do a few things once in a while that maybe you're a little apprehensive about, not really uncomfortable, but maybe a little apprehensive, because that will help you become more effective, and it'll help you better leverage the effectiveness of social media marketing. Now, I mentioned last month in November, the webinar was about giving and about gratitude and empathy. And in that webinar, I introduced some concepts about what are called business intangibles. And if you didn't watch that webinar, let me tell you real quick what that means. We used to sell services by talking about features and benefits. So if we were going to sell dentistry, we would talk about the features and benefits of great dentistry. Well, today, businesses that are really effective in their marketing not only talk about features and benefits, but they talk about things that we often call intangibles, or they are known for things that could be considered intangibles. And some examples that I showed last month are things like being authentic available, being more clear in what you do with people, being delightful, empathetic, findable, giving more, being more grateful, being more inclusive, being more optimistic, and being more personal. Those are things not related to the features or benefits of what you do as a business, but they're an important part today of doing business. So where does fun fit into this? Well, I think that if you're not comfortable using the word fun, if you feel like that for your practice, that effective social media marketing ought to be called something besides fun, because you feel like you're a more buttoned down, more a quieter, maybe, sort of personality in your office, or a quieter culture, then we could just as easily have called this webinar something, instead of calling it Keeping Social Media Marketing Fun and Consistent, we could have called it Keeping Social Media Marketing More Authentic and Consistent. Or maybe we should have called it Keeping Social Media Marketing More Giving and Consistent. Or perhaps Keeping Social Media Marketing More Personal and Consistent. So the point that I want to make is that if some things seem too fun or too out there or even too silly for your practice, then don't do those. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't say to yourself, social media is not for us because we don't want to do a Dubsmash video. There are millions of things that you can do. I mean, we've been publishing ideas, thousands of ideas for 8 years now. There are lots of things that you can do and be really effective on any place on that comfort scale. So don't not participate because you feel like maybe it's the things that are done are too silly or whatever. All right. So wherever you want to fall on this scale, talk to your team about it. Give it some real thought, because when you find a place on this continuum where you're really comfortable, you'll become more passionate about telling the story of your practice through social media. And when you become more passionate about it, and it becomes more internal and coming from your heart and more personal, you will be more consistent. So consistency will come from being passionate about what you do. Okay? All right. Here's a couple examples. Like Dr. Griffin, who I met a few months ago up in South Carolina. He's been doing live videos on Facebook, and all he does is just turn on the camera. There's nothing silly about it, and he answers a dental-related question. So he might say, hey, I'm asked once in a while, what should I do if a temporary crown falls off? Well, let me explain to you what you do. So it's not silly, but it's personal, it's engaging, it's honest, it's accessible. It's all those intangibles we talked about, and he's found a way that he enjoys doing that. Just talking about things that are related to dentistry is a great way to make your posts more personal. Expressing love and gratitude is a way to make your posts different and more personal. And again, this isn't over-the-top silly stuff or fun stuff. Our good friends at Slave Lake Dental, they're really great about once a week they go out and highlight some other business in the community and talk about how much they like their business and leverage those relationships. So that's not way out there or whatever. Maybe it's just talking, put your arm around a patient one day and talk about how much they felt like you changed their life, and just thank them and just say, we love you as our patient. During March Madness, do something about basketball. That's not too silly. That doesn't in any way diminish your reputation or whatever, to talk about things that people want to talk about. So there's places all along this continuum, right? Go like Dr. Spodak did and express love and thanks to the veterans who work at the fire department. That's not silly or off the charts crazy or whatever, and yet it really endears you and the practice to your community. Talk about things that your team members are doing. All of these are ideas that are fun, but aren't off the charts fun. Even use your own social media stuff. Now, let me say, there are many times when I'm out speaking and working with practices when a doctor will say to me, Jack, I'm not that kind of person. I just don't really like social media. I don't have a Facebook account. I really don't participate. It just seems weird to me, or I'm too old, or whatever they say to me. And so sometimes I think that comes from the idea that doctors have the misperception that being on social media has to be really a certain way. And it can be any way that you want it to be. Like, I use this example of my Instagram account. So I'm on Instagram. I love to upload photos to it. I really don't do, personally, I don't do a ton of social media. I do a lot of social media with my social practice. But I do have an Instagram page, and it's mostly about the things that I do when I'm out working with dental practices or out when I'm speaking at events. It also, I love great food, and so I enjoy talking about dining just because it's kind of one of my passions. And up there in the upper left-hand corner, you can see I love spending time with family. And so most of my posts, if you look through my Instagram page, it's just about relationships that I have with doctors and the relationship that I have to people in the dental industry. And I happen to love great food, and I love my family. And so if you look through my posts, I don't feel like, it's not like I'm out there being weird or off the charts or beating my chest. It's just me. It's just me being personal. And so if you say I can't do that, well, try some little part of this. It's not hard. Open an Instagram account and just start uploading the things that you do once in a while. Even if nobody sees it, it'll be a good exercise for you to figure out how you can be more personal in your social media. And when it becomes more personal, it can become more fun. And when it becomes more fun, you'll be more consistent. All right. So refocus on the human side of the practice. I think that's one of the greatest ways. If you start to feel like you're not being consistent, that's one of the greatest ways to become consistent again. And post those things on your page. If one of your team members just had a new baby, post some photos if she's okay with that. Post some photos and talk about that. This personalized component is really, really important. Okay, so there's the 3 parts of the ebook that you're going to dive into after we get done here, and you're going to focus on those, and you're going to learn from that book, and you're going to take some action items, right? I hope we've inspired you tonight to do that. Now, keep in mind that this ebook is really just part of a bigger picture. And as you may or may not know, if you're new to your relationship with us at My Social Practice, we generate a lot of free stuff, a lot of ebooks, a lot of great webinars. And so this isn't the whole picture, what you're going to download. So make it just part of your library. And the best way to do that is to go to the free stuff page on our website and make sure you're subscribed to all of our content. We have ebooks and webinars about all the components, including the one this time, which is about making your efforts more consistent. So you can learn more and make sure you're subscribed at mysocialpractice.com/free. And we'll have that link down below this video as well. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, valued clients and friends. We appreciate you so much. And everyone on our team is passionate about what they do every day because of our relationships with you. Thank you for attending the webinar. Have a great holiday season. We're only a couple of days away from Christmas right now. And so have a great holiday season and a great 2018, and we'll see you all next month. Thanks.